Hey Management 4480, welcome to your Thursday class. We got the quiz out of the way with the last class, so now we can jump back into the textbook. And today we're going to be talking about chapter 4, which is on intellectual assets. I have my notes here so that I can go through what I put in the PowerPoint for you quickly, just to give you a preview of what we're about to talk about. So this chapter is all about the important role of intellectual assets within the knowledge economy. And so the knowledge economy is what we're calling our current work environment, where we value an individual's creativity, knowledge, experience more so than we value assets. So historically, companies would place very high value on their tangible assets, like how much money they had, or their buildings and businesses. But today, companies are placing the most value on the individuals who work for their firm. So when we're talking about intellectual assets, we're talking about intangible assets, and this includes the firm's reputation, your employees' loyalty, your employees' work experiences and skill sets. So when the market value of the firm is higher than the book value of the firm, then we attribute it to the intellectual assets. So that means our people, our employees, and their brilliance and their creativity is what's given us that extra value over our book value. So within the knowledge economy, we're placing a lot of emphasis on managing human capital well. And so we know human capital is the employees and their intelligence and their experience. And then beyond managing human capital well, we want to manage social capital well. And so social capital is essentially the relationships between employees. And then we also want to manage knowledge well. And so you'll see that within the PowerPoint, we split knowledge between two categories. And so there is explicit knowledge and tacit knowledge. So in managing human capital well, there are 3 interdependent activities that we want to engage in. Not only do we want to attract high quality human capital to our company, but then we also want to develop them. So after they come work for us, we want to make sure that we're continuing to train them, continuing to stretch them, and give them new assignments and just opportunities for growth. And then we want to retain them. And so then when we're talking about retaining human capital, a lot of times we just automatically think that that just means making sure you continue to give people raises. But the reason people leave is actually more complex than just not getting enough money. While that's the case sometimes, other times it's because of the people that they work with, having a tough manager or a manager that doesn't value you is also a huge reason why people leave. And then being given work assignments or tasks that just don't take full advantage of someone's wisdom and experience, and so they're willing to leave and go to a company that will be a better fit with everything that they bring to the table. So we want to manage social capital really well, because one reason why we're able to keep people at our company is because of the relationships. So when people enjoy the people that they work with, they're more likely to stay. And then when people leave, and particularly when we're talking about managers, when a manager is recruited to a competitor or different company, a lot of times we see something called the Pied Piper effect. And so that's a phenomenon where you have this manager who's been recruited to a new firm, and because of the great relationships that that manager has established with the people in his or her group, the manager goes to the new job and then recruits away that whole group. And so it's sort of like the little the co-workers, the subordinates following the Pied Piper into the new company. And so that is one of the downsides of social capital for a company, because if you lose the manager and the manager's entire group, then that's a huge loss. But typically, we want to create this environment where people feel comfortable establishing strong ties with their coworkers and with their managers, because if these people continue to stay at the firm, then you're most likely to continue staying at the firm just based on those relationships, just because you like the people you work around. So this conversation about the knowledge economy and intellectual assets got me thinking about a couple of questions that I wanted us to discuss. And so I came up with a list of 8 questions, and you are going to choose which one you want to respond to in the form on the Moodle. And so you're going to write your own response to the prompt. But then you're also going to reply to one of your classmates' responses across any of the questions. So that is it for Thursday's class. I hope you all have a good weekend, and I'll see you again on Tuesday.